So, in order to get there, here's what I want to frame you. Like a few years ago, I was a youth pastor in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Everyone say A. All right. All right. I'm not Canadian. I'm very much American. All right. However, my wife and my children are Canadian and American, and we were there revitalizing a youth ministry. But I'm going to tell you a story. For some reason, Canadians don't like summer camp. All right? Summer in Canada is where all the Canadians try to get out of Canada. All right? Or they try to enjoy the 2 months of beautiful weather that they have before it starts snowing in the middle of September. All right? So they don't necessarily care about summer camp. Instead, they like to do winter camp. How Canadian, right? Winter camp, and they do it in January, right? Like I said, because nothing screams Canadian like driving in frigid -40 Fahrenheit temperatures to hang out in a bunch of cabins on a frozen lake. All right, I guess, all right. Look, so here we are. So I'm setting you up. So here's the reality of this true, very true story. We loaded up in the vans, had a bunch of youth leaders in the front, all the kids in the back of this big 15-passenger van. We stopped by Canada's staple, Tim Hortons, and got some coffee, all right? And we started driving. We started driving from St. Catharines. Now, some geography is St. Catharines is about 15, 20 minutes away from Niagara Falls, and so we're on the south side of the lake. The place we were going is called Muskoka, which is about a 2.5, 3-hour drive north. All right, so even more north than what you can get. We drove around the lake. We got to Toronto, no problem. We get into this little town called Barrie, no problem. Once we are about 10 minutes out of Barrie, kid you not, white-out blizzard across the road. I see nothing. I'm a Florida boy, all right? I see nothing. I literally cannot see the headlights piercing the snow. That's how thick this was, all right? So I start freaking out going, I got to stop. Either we're going to stop and wait this out, or we're going to change drivers. And my Canadians are going, don't stop. I'm going, but I can't see. If you stop, we get stuck. Or if we don't get stuck, we get hit by someone who's not stopping because they know better not than to stop. I'm like, okay, so you drive. Well, I can't do that because you can't stop for me to switch. So you just got to keep on going. I'm going, white-knuckling the van. All right? White-knuckling the van. So I had a youth leader in the seat next to me who was my second set of eyes and helping me stay on the road and trying to find those lines on the road. And like when I say white out, I mean I can't see the black asphalt. It's like I'm going off like the headlights in front of me, praying to the Lord that they didn't go off the road, right? And so so he's there, and then sitting kind of like back center is another youth leader, and then another 15 oblivious children of their peril in the back, all right? And here's why, like, I say all this. We had Nate sitting next to me, helping my eyes keep on the road. You had Nathaniel sitting in the center. He knew the area. He knew where we were going. He knew what to look out for. He knew what signs to look out for. He knew how to direct me when I couldn't see. I was, look, when I say terrified, if you've never been in that, I don't tell you, all right? Look, again, why do I share that? Because imagine if I had no one else in the van with me other than the oblivious children. I would have stopped in the middle, or the side of the road, not knowing where the road was, potentially putting myself and all of them in danger, right? Right? So, that's the thing. If I didn't have a second set of eyes, I would have, no directions of, whatever you do, don't stop because you might get struck or you might get hit. No ability to have someone know the path, know the signs of where we're going. And there's a very real chance, had those two not been there, that my night would have ended up a bit spicy, all right? So, all that to say, the van was vulnerable to absolute disaster. I was competent. I knew how to drive. I mean, I drive with the tourists here. I know how to drive. But you following me in a condition that I have never been in, having the men next to me saying, keep going. I know where we're going. I know not to stop. And I'm going, I'm trusting you because I've driven before, but I have no idea right now what I'm doing. All right? The church, too, is vulnerable to absolute disaster without God-ordained leadership. All right. So you want to know, why don't we just leave it to the one man, the one pastor to do it all? Because I would wreck the van. All right, I'm going to tell you that outright.